Talking Colorado Mesa sports on Mav Day on the Jim Davis Show.
All right, and joining us right now on the team line, he is the netminder for the CMU men's soccer team. Diego Chavez joins us. Diego, I appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me.
I know it's been a while. You were on with us last season. Great to have you back with us. And let's go back to that first win against Northwest Nazarene, where you picked up the 3-1 victory. A really good opening win for your team. You would end up facing 13 shots in the day. 5 of them were on net. You had 4 saves, just the 1 goal in 180 minutes. So a good performance in terms of what you're able to do in that opening win against Northwest Nazarene.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that win was well-deserved, and I think especially after the tie against St. Mary's the game before, we were really hungry and we were really looking for that win. I think that game really proved our potential and what we can really do. And, I mean, we were just so excited that the chemistry was just unbeatable, and at the end of the day, we were able to snag the win.
And you got some good goal production from who had a sensational year last year, Manuel Ponce Casillas. He had 3 shots. He had a goal. Diego Silva had a goal as well. Mateo Bonella, he had a goal as well. So those 3 found the back of the net and giving you guys a chance to, of course, get that first victory of the season with their offensive production.
Yeah, exactly. I think this year we're really proving that we have a lot of threats offensively. I think Manu, he's really been consistent, especially in the last years. And so I think this year, like I said, he's really hungry and he's going to be really dangerous. But, newcomer Mateo, he's looking super sharp. And, especially, I don't know if you've seen his goal, but his goal was, super crafty and just really tucked it in the back of the net. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of different goal scorers this year, but I know for sure that, Manu is going to be one of those that's just going to be consistent scoring as often as he can.
Diego Chavez joining us on the Jim Davis Show on Mav Day. Does that offensive firepower give you a little bit more room to maybe be more aggressive when facing a coming attack instead of having to be conservative because you don't know when goals are going to come?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it takes a lot of pressure off my back. I love to perform and I love to come up big, but, sometimes the idea is if I don't have to, then we're doing something right, So I think, just knowing that we're having that offensive power and knowing that those goals are going to come no matter what, I think it really changes things. Last year, I didn't really feel like I had my back against the wall in a certain way, but I definitely felt like if I didn't come up big, results might be different. So I think this year it's really different, and especially in results, like, if we're tied to a team, we're looking to just keep pressing, or if we're winning 1-0, we're looking to keep going and scoring more versus sometimes before, if we were winning, we were trying to hold on, and this year is not going to look like that at all. Diego
Chavez, goaltender for the CMU men's soccer team with us today. So, the tie with St. Mary's, the win against Northwest Nazarene. Unfortunately lost to Cal State Monterey Bay when you're out in Salt Lake City. That's where you also played Northwest Nazarene as well. So now you go down to Durango again. You're not going to play Fort Lewis College down there, but you're going to go to Durango to Dierks Field to play Montana State Billings coming up on Thursday, and then Simon Fraser University out of Canada on Saturday. So a trip back to Durango. What's the scouting report, Diego, on Montana State Billings?
Yeah, I mean, we played them last year, and it was definitely a good game. I think we're looking to do the same thing this year. I think at the end of the day, we're kind of looking at our opponents just the same and kind of just taking it game by game, really doing what we can do. And, of course, we're doing our film and we're doing our scouting, but, at the end of the day, we're kind of just focused on the chemistry that we have and looking to put as many goals in the back of the net. Of course, after the last weekend, I think it was a good lesson against Monterey Bay, especially because we were coming off of like a 3-game week. And so I think legs were a little bit heavy, but we're looking to definitely bounce back. And, when we had that game against St. Mary's, the team played really well and pretty much dominated. I don't think that tie was, we were definitely the better team in that game. And so I think we're looking to go back on the same pitch and take 2 wins this time.
Diego Chavez, the netminder for the Colorado Mesa men's soccer team, the redshirt junior from Longmont, Colorado, went to Skyline High School, joining us today. And last year, D2 CCA All-Region second team. You were the RMAC Goalkeeper of the Year. You were named to the first team, All-Conference team as well. You also won Goalkeeper of the Week award last September as well. And also, I believe it was twice in that same month, you were named the Goalkeeper of the Week. So for you, last year, an incredible year in terms of being named the RMAC Goalkeeper of the Year, making the All-Region second team. And those are some lofty expectations for this year, because that was an incredible year last year. How do you I guess set goals for this year, considering how good last year was for you, Diego?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in you can always get better and achieve more. So I think this year it's a lot of more team accomplishments that I'm kind of looking for. Of course, I want to be goalkeeper of the year again, like that's my goal, but it's more just I want to win with this team. I'm a fifth year at this point, and so I've spent my time here, and I really want to finish on a bang. And I think it gets to the point where, those accolades seem really nice on paper, and and everything for me. But I really just want to win with the team this year, and I know those accolades will come as long as winning with the team and taking care of the team first is my priority. When
you look at last year compared to this year, and it was, like you said, such an incredible season last year for you, and even mentioned your RMAC All-Academic Honor Roll as well, and also CSC Academic All-District, that your performance in the classroom was outstanding along with on the pitch. But on the soccer pitch, some things you've tried to work on technique-wise. Well, last year was a great year. Things, as you mentioned, you're always looking to improve. What are some things you've really tried to work on to improve this year between the pipes?
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, as good as last year was, I think I'm looking to really improve just like my dominance and my confidence in the back. I think especially as a captain, it's really important to have that confident role. And, even if you got to fake it for a game because you're not having a good one, I think it's very important for myself and for the team that, I'm confident and strong back there. There's a couple things here and there that I feel like I've fine-tuned after last year, just things that could, make my performance even better. But I think just truly being that dominant leader in the back and being able to just be somebody that the rest of the players look up to, but as well as a peer that's fighting alongside them. I think that's something that I'm really looking forward to showing this year and working on this year for sure.
Diego Chavez, goalkeeper for the CMU men's soccer team, with us today. And going back to the preseason coaches poll, CSU Pueblo, they received the most votes for first, Fort Lewis, and then your team, Diego. And I know there's been a long-standing rivalry with Fort Lewis. It can be tiddlywinks. It doesn't have to be soccer or football or anything. There's always been a great rivalry with that school down in Durango. But talk about the developing rivalry of CSU Pueblo. I mean, they had a good season last year. They obviously are picked to win the RMAC this year, and about that rivalry that's developed with the Thunderwolves.
Yeah, I mean, I think ever since we beat them in the RMAC championship, I believe it was in 2021. It's been one of those things where we were kind of on top at that moment, but our roster has been kind of changing, and we're kind of just trying to take it year by year. But they've been pretty strong, been able to build a roster that they've been able to maintain. So, I mean, it's just been one of those things. I have a couple buddies on that team, Sean Andrews and Joey Joyner, that I'm pretty close with them. I grew up with them when I was young, and so not only is it a rivalry for the team, but it's definitely a rivalry for myself, just because I'm looking to beat them out. I'm looking for bragging rights, and of course I think they're going to be the team, as well as a lot of other RMAC competitive teams like UCCS and Fort Lewis, that are going to be standing in our way of that championship. And so I think it's kind of funny, because at this point I think a lot of the RMAC teams are rivals. You know what I mean? It's not really like, oh, CSU Pueblo's our only rival. It's like, when CSU Pueblo plays UCCS, it's a rivalry. When, we play Fort Lewis, when Fort Lewis plays Pueblo, it's kind of like that top four. When anybody plays anybody, it just gets to the point where it's a rivalry. It's a competitive game. It's, probably going to get chippy. And really those wins are going to matter, especially for to end up on top for the RMAC, for the ring.
All right, Diego Chavez, Mavs goalkeeper, with us today. On your bio, we've asked you some of this stuff before, and you says you enjoy fishing. And this time of the year, obviously, it's hard to get out and do that. Do you enjoy fishing in the lake, stream? When you go fishing, Diego, what's your preferred way of going about it? You like to get the waders on and get in the stream and fish, or you just like to fish at a lake or maybe from a boat?
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of difficult these times to be able to get out and fish just because of the schedule and stuff. But I actually had an opportunity this summer to go fish in Cody, Wyoming, where my girlfriend and her family is from. And so, I didn't even have waders. I just went in barefoot to the stream and caught a couple fish. So that kind of just re-sparked my priority of fishing, especially just for the mental. And so I love to just lake fish, just sit by the lake and do my thing. But I'm kind of one of those guys that just stays active. And so, of course, whenever I can stream fish and stuff, I go. But it seems to be that, there's really only lakes around here, especially like in City Grand Junction, But if I know soon we got a couple guys on the team that love to fish, like Talon. He has his own company, and so, he's a big fly fisherman. He's kind of like a guide, so I'm looking to go out with him, hopefully, to some of the crazy spots and maybe even go ice fishing this winter.
All right. Also, I know we've talked to you about this, about music. It says you love to sing, play, listen. You play the piano. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. I'm a little out of practice just because I didn't bring my keyboard up this year. But, every time I go home, my mom always says she loves to hear me play and sing,
So when we talk about your favorite kind of music, pop, rock, country, or we'll throw classical in there too. What's a favorite for you? That's
a really hard one. I'm one of those guys that says I listen to everything, but I truly listen to everything. If you were to look at my playlist, you're going to see a lot of pop, rap, Afro beats, like Brazilian funk, a lot of Spanish music, of course, with my Mexican heritage. And so I think right now I'm kind of getting more into house, techno, EDM type music, just because I feel like that's what's been kind of getting me going for the games and practices and stuff. But yeah, I know that's not the best answer, but ever since I did choir and band in high school, I've loved music, just all types. I just love good music. And so even if I can't understand the language, I've kind of started getting into the top 100 of different countries, even if I can't understand the language, and I just learn to appreciate the good music and the artists and kind of do a little bit more research into their background and stuff and follow them.
All right, we'll approach this in a different way. What's the last song you had to stop what you're doing to add to your playlist?
Ooh, that's a great question. Oh, man. I don't even know if I know the name, but the genre would definitely be pop. So I'll stick with that.
Diego Chavez with us this morning. All right, couple other quick things here. When you read a book, fact or fiction, or fiction or nonfiction, I should say.
I'd say fiction.
What was the last book that you read? That just for not a class, just for pure enjoyment of reading.
Probably. Actually, I guess this wasn't even. Well, I don't know what you would really consider it, but it was called The Art of the Confident Mind, and it's just basically talking about trying to get my confidence up and stuff. It was just kind of talking about how to not overthink things and really just the difference between confidence and arrogance and stuff. And so I've been I'm almost done with that actually, but that's pretty much the last book that I've been reading.
All right, so we have Colorado Craft Coffee and Beer, one of our sponsors. Say you could go over to Colorado Craft right there across from Houston Hall, and you could have a beer or a coffee with anybody in the world, celebrity, whatever, living or dead. Okay. Who would that be for you? Who would you want to sit down and have a drink with?
Ooh, to be honest, I'd probably have to say either The Rock Johnson.
Okay.
Or I think I would do Diego Maradona, the legend soccer player,
Yeah, that two very unique individuals right there. No doubt about it. Yeah, very cool. Hey, Diego, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for coming on the program, and best of luck to you and the Maverick soccer team moving forward as you get closer to the start of RMAC play.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me again. It was my pleasure to be on here, and look forward to the sport this season.
All right.